Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. Nice to have you with us for this Friday, the first day of June, the year 2018. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Oh yes, as always, coming to you live and at you from the busy streets, which is Brooklyn, New York. And today I am inside the campus of Long Island University, located in downtown Brooklyn, as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. And we'll get to the we'll talk about baseball today with the Yankees, and the Yankees were postponed yesterday. We'll spend a little time on the Mets, but we'll begin with a thrilling and exciting Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and where to start? LeBron James becomes the sixth player to score 50 over 40 points in the NBA Finals, but the first players to lose after scoring 40 or more. Or J.R. Smith bow-headed decision, and everybody is weighing in on the bow-headed decision. And obviously, if you know basketball, two things J.R. Smith could have done. Either lay it up or call a timeout. But that's what not cost me, in my eyes, that momentum shift. But I don't want to get on that, okay? The one thing that jumps at that when I take away from Game 1 of this year's NBA Finals is one thing. This is without a shadow of a doubt the worst officiating NBA Finals I have ever watched. No, and I don't recall. I've been watching the NBA Finals since the bad boys of the Detroit Pistons. Okay, when Isaiah and them boys, and I never saw a worse official. And anybody who watched sports, and let me tell you something. I don't care about officiating that much, but last night was a horrendous officiating game. Horrendous. Okay? And let's go straight to the foul. Let's go straight to the charge. I don't care what Durant says. And yes, Durant told you something similar happened to him in this year's playoff or last year's playoffs. I'm not too sure, but that's not important to me. Here's my theory with the charge call. If the call is too, first of all, the whole point of, if the call is too difficult to overturn, you got to make the call stands. And I will emphasize it as much as I can right now. If the call is very, very, say like the call was a bang. See, like it was a bang play. And by the way, the charge and blocking foul go either way anyway. Either way, would it be a restricted area or not? Okay. All I know, I don't know. I'm not sure how you set your feet up in front of the restricted area or not. But I do know this. If you lay your shoulder, that's an offensive foul. Case closed. And what I saw in my eyes, was an offensive foul. Now, prior to last night, with Durant and LeBron, to me, in my opinion, looking at it three or four times, That call could have gone either way, but the call should have been the call was an offensive foul, and honestly, that it should have stayed that way. The call should have stayed because it was too difficult to overturn. Really, too difficult to overturn, and that to me changed the complexion of the game. Because otherwise, LeBron, I understand, George Hill should have made his free throws. Simple as that. Because if George Hill would have made his free throw, we would have had a J.R. Smith play. As simple as that. And yes, I'm not. Everybody want to kill J.R. Smith, but remember, the game was tied. Yes, I understand J.R. Smith should have laid it up or call a timeout. He should be aware of what's going on. Okay? He should be aware of what's going on. But again, George Hill, excuse me, why I'm saying George Smith. George Hill was an 81% free throw shooter. Ladies and gentlemen, he was an 81% free throw shooter. When you're 80 or above free throw, when you're shooting, when your free throws is 80 or more, 9 out of 10 times you're a damn good free throw shooter. In other words, make your damn free throws. And this is a perfect example where free throws win the game and lost the game. And I see the frustration in LeBron James' face. LeBron has gotten to the point he's had it. Because if the Cavs would have won this game last night, we would have talked about how brilliant LeBron is and continue. And LeBron, and let's face it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's face it. Golden State had no business winning that game last night. Golden State stole that game last night. Case closed. I like how because I was going to come in and start off, I like the game plan of LeBron. I like the game plan, how Cleveland set the tone. And LeBron set the tone last night. He set the tone. And I feel I'm not a Cavaliers fan. I'm not a Cavaliers fan, but I feel for the Cavs fans. I feel for LeBron. I really do. Because they had Golden State. If Curry didn't make his shots, Golden State. And I hear one of the analysts from ESPN say Golden State found a way to win. I'm sorry, they didn't. To me, that's not finding a way to win. That's stealing the game. Let's call it the way we see it. Okay? Golden State stole that game from Cleveland. They stole that game. Let's call it the way we see it. Because Durant was struggling from the field. Okay? He had his point late. Kevin Durant had his point late in the fourth. He got his groove back in the second half and overtime. But let's be honest, Kevin Durant did not have a good game. So is Draymond Green. Draymond Green, he make his three once in the blue moon. And by the way, I've had enough of him. I'm really had enough with Draymond Green. I really had it. I really am. Seriously. You poke LeBron eyes out. And you see LeBron eyes in the corner? Yeah, it was because of Draymond Green. And then you was clapping when Tristan Thompson got ejected from the game. I don't know for what reason. But Draymond Green poked LeBron in the eye. You didn't throw him out of the game. That was very interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, Draymond clap, and then you know what? I like what Tristan Thompson did. I got to be honest with you. I wanted to knock his teeth in. I really do. Because honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of Draymond Green antics. And if I was a player in the NBA, I would have put him on his ass. We would have been fighting. Screw that. We would have been fighting. But anyway. But what can you say about J.R. Smith? J.R. Smith had to be aware of what's going on. But let's keep this in mind. Again, if George Hill would have made his 3 throws, this would never. That J.R. Smith play would have never happened. And again, the refs have done a horrible job. To me, that charge play switched the momentum of the game. And this is what I hate about sports. This is the one thing I hate about sports. From football to basketball to baseball, one call could change the momentum of the game. And I hate when refs do that. And they need to stop that. Seriously. Otherwise, we would think the game would be fixed. That's why we have second. Now we have doubts when it comes to refs in the NBA now. If it's not conclusive to overturn, leave the first call the way it is. Even if it's a bad job, because it's a judgment call, it's a bang play. You're not gonna always get the call right. But when it's obvious, you got to make sure you make the calls right. But anyway, if you're Cleveland, maybe a good day. Good. This is the good thing about the finals. 2 days off. You gotta forget about it. You gotta forget about it. And just get ready for game 2. Just get ready for game 2. And go even the series at a game apiece. And that's the story with the NBA Finals. As far as the Yankee game didn't happen because it was a rain out in Baltimore, so the game will be postponed. It will be July 2nd, I believe. It'll be a day-night doubleheader against the Baltimore Orioles. As for the Mets, talk about the building that's falling apart. I went to one of my good buddies who's a diehard Mets fan, and the Mets season is falling apart. Now, so is the stadium. Now there's a leakage. I heard there's a leakage in the press conference room. First, there was a fire. What the heck is going on? I don't know what the heck is going on out there. Maybe they need to do some inspection or something, or maybe they gotta fix something. I mean, the Mets season and the building and Citi Field is coming apart. What's happening? What is happening? Seriously. But anyway. Seth Lugo, despite the score, he didn't pitch bad. The most pitches he had was 60